Yes. So now coming to types of reproduction, we mainly have got two types of reproduction. Okay, one is asexual reproduction and another one is sexual reproduction. Okay, so asexual reproduction means it is a type of reproduction where it involves a participation of one parent or a single parent. Okay, so that what happens, the organisms which are formed because of this asexual reproduction, they look the same way as their parent look, or we can also call them as clones. Okay, and coming to sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction where it involves the fusion of male and female gametes which are produced by the two different individuals. Okay, so what happens in sexual reproduction is, consider there is a male organism and a female organism. So these both will be producing a what? Gametes, something called as gametes. So gametes are nothing but they are a sex cells. Okay, which means these gametes will be having a haploid number of chromosomes. Okay, which means they have got half number of chromosomes. Okay, for example, if I take a cell from here, it always, or any if I take a cell from any part of my body, all will be having 46 number of chromosomes. Okay, we call them as somatic cells. But the gametes which are produced in our reproductive organs, like in females, these germ cells are produced in ovaries, and in males it is produced in a testes. Okay, so these organs will produce a gametes which are nothing but what? Reproductive cells or sex cells. Okay, so they have haploid number of chromosomes. So male will produce a half number. So we humans have 46 number of chromosomes, correct? So because of meiosis type of cell division, in these two reproductory parts, what happens? A half number of chromosomal cells are formed, like 23 number from a male and 23 number of chromosomes from female are formed. Okay, so now you can see here, male will contribute 23 number of chromosomes and female will contribute 23 number of chromosomes. So together what happens? 46 number of chromosomes are formed when there is a fusion of these two cells. So 46 chromosomes means what? New individual or a new organism, right? So when they are formed, what happens? A zygote is formed. Zygote is nothing but a single cell organism. Okay, and it goes on having a mitotic type of cell division where it leads to a formation of a embryo. Correct? Nothing but a new individual, and it develops in a mother womb. Okay, so you can see that there is a participation of two different individuals and they contribute their respective gametes in the formation of a new individual. Okay, and you always remember that sexual reproduction happens in a higher organisms, very well developed organisms. Let's discuss about this in detail going forward. Now let us discuss about the types of asexual reproduction in both plants and animals. Okay, so now let us discuss about types of asexual reproduction in animals. Okay, we have got three types of asexual reproduction in animals, and which are nothing but a fission, next is regeneration and budding. So these are the types of asexual reproduction in animals. So now let us discuss about each and every type in detail. So coming to the first type of asexual reproduction, which is fission. Okay, so fission usually have got a meaning of what? To divide, right? So how can we define fission reproduction then? So fission is a type of asexual reproduction where two or more cells are produced which resembles the parent cell. Okay, that is how we can easily define the fission reproduction. Okay, so why I told, because see, in fission we again have two types. One we call it as a binary fission, another we call it as a multiple fission. The name itself is indicating. Binary always refers to what? Two, where one cell will divide into two daughter cells which resembles the parent cell. But in case of multiple fission, what happens? Multiple cells are formed because of the breakdown or a division of a parent cell. That's all. It's simple, right? Yeah. So here you can take an example of amoeba. See here, this is a parent amoeba where the content of the cell is getting enlarged, right? It is getting prepared for the cell division. And what happens eventually, you can see the cleavage is being formed between the cell so that it will be divided into two daughter cells, and both look identical to this parent organism, correct? And this is an example for binary fission where one cell is dividing into two daughter cells. Okay, and if you take an example of Plasmodium, it is an example for multiple fission, right? Where you can see multiple nucleus are being formed, multiple division has happened, which has led to the formation of these many nucleus inside this cell, right? Here you remember only the nucleus is being divided and not the cytoplasm. That's what happens. The cytoplasm mass is containing it's containing a mass of nucleus. Okay, yeah, so this is an example for what? Multiple fission. And you always remember that this asexual type of reproduction happens in a lower organisms, right, which have got a single cell or a fewer cells. Only in such organisms asexual type of reproduction will be happening, and in sexual reproduction happens in a very highly developed complex organisms like us humans, right, or the mammals, right? I'll come to that category while explaining that part. Fine. So this all about a fission reaction, right? All you have to remember is types. One is binary, next is multiple. Binary means two cells are formed from a single cell, and multiple means many cells are formed from a single cell. That's all. Example for binary is you can give amoeba, okay, and for a multiple fission you can give an example of Plasmodium. Okay, so that's all about this fission. Now let's go into the second type of asexual mode of reproduction. Yes. So now going to the second type of asexual reproduction, which is regeneration. So what is regeneration? Regeneration is the ability of a simple organism to reproduce its lost part. Okay, to reproduce its lost parts. Okay, so here you can see the example what we have taken is planaria. See, this is a parental organism, so we had cut down that into 3 parts. Okay, so now your planaria has become like this, and you can also notice that whatever I have filled with the green lines, those are getting regenerated. See, this first part has only the top part, and how it is regenerating its lost parts, correct? And the second part didn't have anything like a top and bottom part, right? See, here you can see that both the parts are being regenerated, and this downward or the third portion, right, it had only a basal part, and here you can also see again that the two parts, this and this, is being regenerated. And finally what happens, you can see 3 new individual planarias, right? So this is a type of reproduction mode, right? 1 became 3, or if you would have cut down into 4 parts, what would have been happened? 4 different planarias would have been formed because of regeneration process. Okay, simple, right? Understood? Yes. So now let's understand the third type of asexual reproduction, which is budding. So now coming to the next type of asexual reproduction, which is budding. This is all how it looks like. Okay, we have taken an example of hydra. So what is budding then? What is the definition of budding? Okay, so budding is a type of asexual reproduction reproduction where an organism develops an outgrowth. When an organism develops an outgrowth due to a cell division, due to a rapid cell division at particular place, okay, which will develop into a new individual eventually. Okay, so here whatever the outgrowth you can see, right, these outgrowths are due to a rapid cell division. Here at the particular site, cell division is happening more, okay, because of which an organism has developed an outgrowth. You also call it as bud. Okay, so this outgrowth only we call it as bud. And what happens, this bud, when it matures completely, okay, it gets detaches from a parental body and it develops into a new individual. Okay, so this all about budding. The same process will happen in a hydra. So this is a hydra, how it looks like a diagram, correct? So you understood, right? Budding is because of a production of buds, and how these buds are produced because of cell division at a particular site. At this site there is so much of cell division because of which outgrowth has formed, and that keeps on developing, and when it gets fully matured it gets detaches from a parent body and develops into a new individual. Okay, simple, right? That's all about this budding. Now let us understand different types of asexual reproduction in plants. Okay. So now let us discuss about asexual reproduction in plants. Okay, so asexual reproduction in plants is also called as vegetative propagation. Okay, so what is it? It's a mode of asexual reproduction in plants in which a new plant grows from a fragment of a parent plant, okay, or a specialized structures like leaves, root or stem. If a new plant is generating, okay, from a parent plant, you call that as a vegetative propagation. Okay, yes, and in this vegetative propagation we can classify them into two types. One is natural vegetative propagation and another one is artificial vegetative propagation. Okay, yes. So the name itself is indicating natural vegetative propagation. So it occurs naturally, where it happens naturally without the intervention of a human being. When it comes to artificial vegetative propagation, there is an involvement of human in order to produce new plants from a parent plant. Okay, like his efforts are involved over there. Fine, yes. So here in a natural vegetative propagation we have these three types, which means new plants will be produced from the leaves and new plants will generate from the root and from the stem. That is how it means. Okay, so I'll take examples and I'll explain that. Okay, and here in artificial vegetative propagation we mainly have these many. Okay, so where cutting, grafting, layering and tissue culture is involved. Okay, so now let us go into this natural vegetative propagation. So as I already told, it happens because of a leaf, stem and roots, right? So if you see an example for leaves, the bryophyllum, correct? So this is how a leaf of bryophyllum looks like, and if you see the margin of bryophyllum leaves is having a small plantlets, right? So when these plantlets will fall on the ground, it will develop into a new individual, right? So here leaves are becoming a reproductive part of a plant, right? So from a parent plant, when these leaflets are falling down, it is growing into a new individual. So this is an example for a natural vegetative propagation, right? So for example, if you consider potato or ginger, you might have seen, right, in a potato there will be something like potato eye, right? When you sow this in a soil, what happens? New potato plant will be grown, right? So ginger is also an example for such vegetative propagation, which happens because of the stem. Okay, and roots, if you see sweet potato, so here what happens? Leaves, stems and roots are becoming a specialized parts for this vegetative propagation. Okay, so this is all about natural vegetative propagation. So now let us discuss about artificial vegetative propagation. Okay, so we will mainly discuss about 4 different methods of artificial vegetative propagation. So first is that cutting. So example is a rose plant. You might have seen that if you have a rose plants in your garden, right, what you do in order to make a new plants, what you do, you'll just cut the part of stem or any thick branch of it, and then you will sow it, right, and then you will put it in the soil, correct? So this is one method where you'll just cut it and you will put it in the soil, and that will grow as a new individual plant. Okay, example is a rose plant or sugar cane. Okay, so grafting, the second method is grafting. So example is mango plant we can take. So what we do here is, see, there is a 2 plants of mine. For example, one mango plant, okay, it bears a lot many fruits it will bear, and there is another plant of mine which bears a very sweetest fruits, okay, but in fewer numbers. So now I want a tree where it bears a lot many fruits with the sweetest taste. So how can I do? I can do with the method of grafting. So what I do is, I'll take these 2 plants, okay, the first part you can call it as a scion, and the second plant you can call it as a stalk, right, which will be there in the below, you call it as a stalk, and the one which you will be putting right on top of this stalk, you call it as a scion. Okay, so now what you do, you will just bind them together with a thread or a rope or whatever, or a thing or a cloth is also fine. Just bind them together and you can plant it. So now this plant will grow into a new individual where it will be having the properties of these 2 plants. Okay, so basically what you are doing with the help of grafting method, you are combining the required properties of different plants. Okay, so this is one method of artificial vegetative propagation, because there is an intervention of man, right? He is cutting 2 different stems of plants and then he is combining in order to make a new plant, right? So thus it is coming under a artificial vegetative propagation. Okay, so now let us discuss about another method, which is layering. So the layering techniques, the example we can take is pomegranate. So what happens in this layering technique is, see, there is a plant of mine. What I do is, I'll just pull its branch, okay, and then I'll put it inside the soil. So what happens, this will start growing as a new individual. So this is how the layering technique will be done. So I'll just pull out its part, okay, its branch, and I'll start putting that inside soil, and it will grow as a new individual. So that's all about this layering technique. So coming to this last technique of tissue culture, so what we will be doing here is, it is also called as micropropagation. See, here all you do is, you will just take a part of plant. For example, from a leaf you can take any part, okay, a small part of leaf you can take, and that part or a tissue, what you'll do, you'll put it in a nutritive media where there will be a growth hormones, okay, and nutritive medium is present. So in this, what happens, these tissues or the cells, tissue is made up of cells, right? So these cells, individual cells, will develop into a new plantlets. Okay, so upon supplying proper nutrition and also making them to be in a proper environment, it will grow into a new individual plantlets. Each and every cell will develop into a new individual plantlets. So like this, so with the help of this tissue culture, we can produce enormous amount of plants or plantlets. Okay, so orchid, you can take an example for tissue culture, and that's all about this tissue culture. I just wanted to explain these each and every methods in detail, because in textbook they have not given anything, they have just mentioned it out. So that's why I just told like what exactly these layering, tissue culture, grafting, okay, or cutting means. Okay, so that's all about this artificial vegetative propagation. Yes. Okay. So now let us discuss about another type of asexual reproduction, which is spore formation. So this spore formation, how can you define? You can define like it is a mode of asexual reproduction which happens in a non-flowering plants like a fungi. Okay, so here what happens? Parent body will produce spores, tiny spores, which in turn will develop into a new individual upon getting a favorable condition. So for example, Rhizopus you can take. Okay, you might have heard of bread mold, right, which grows on top of a bread. For example, just you can also do this at your home. Just take a bread piece and just add some water to it, or you keep it in a moistured environment, also in the open environment. Okay, so after some days you can notice that some black color or a grayish color thing will be grown on it, right? It is nothing but your Rhizopus. Okay, if you see that under microscope, the structure like this will be seen. Okay, so this structure we call it as a hyphae, where it will be bearing some bulb like structures. So this bulb like structure is nothing but, this is only, we call it as a sporangia, and this sporangia bears a numerous tiny spores. Okay, and these tiny spores, when they fall, okay, on an appropriate environment or upon reaching a favorable condition, they will start growing as a new individual or a new Rhizopus. So this is how the fungus or fungi will be reproducing. They are reproduced by the production of spores. Okay, see, in here there will be abundant of this tiny spores present. Like you might have been wondering, right? You just keep a bread piece here or there, and it starts growing upon reaching certain like a favorable condition. That's because of this only, because there will be numerous of spores present in this open air. So when they will be getting that proper moistened environment and also that nutritive medium, they'll start growing on it. And one advantage of these spores is that they can even survive. Okay, they can even stay in a very bad or adverse condition only upon reaching a favorable condition, then only it starts growing. So it can bear such adverse environment, so it won't grow till it reaches or till it gets a favorable environment. Okay, so this is all about a spore formation or a reproduction mode in fungi. So that's all about a sexual mode of reproduction. Now let us discuss about sexual mode of reproduction in plants, and then later we can go into a sexual reproduction in humans. Fine.